Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask GameSpot. It's the show where Maxwell McGee crouches down because we're not allowed to show the fact that we're reading these questions off of a sheet of paper.
Don't want to go behind the curtain.
Let's get started.
Joseph Frank wants to know, how does the new VITA hardware feel? How does it feel, Sean? Is it going to fit nicely into our big American meat hooks?
Into our gigantic bear paw hands that we have? Stop. That's weird. That went to a weird place. To answer your question, Joseph Frank, it feels really good, actually. I really enjoy the ergonomics of the new system. The first thing you notice is the fact that it's just a bit lighter and a bit thinner. That's what hits you immediately.
Is it roughly like the same size?
Yeah, basically the same ergonomics as the current system. It's just a little bit thinner, so it's just a little bit easier to hold. The other thing that makes it easier to hold is the fact that everything on the back besides that touch panel has this kind of a rigid matte finish. So it's just a lot easier to grip, a lot easier to hold on to with your big American meat hooks.
What about the shoulder buttons? I know there were some complaints about the original Vita's shoulder buttons.
Shoulder buttons feel a lot better. On the current Vita, they're kind of mushy and they just kind of float around in space. On the new Vita, they just have a nicer sense of actuation, a better tactile response, and I really like the way they feel. The face buttons are a little bit more curved. On the current Vita, they've got those kind of like sharp edges, so when you're playing like a really intense kind of action game, like for me this happened with Guacamelee, where I had to like input really quick combos. My poor thumb got hurt.
It gets all cut up down there.
They use USB to charge now, which is nice. So you don't have to use that ridiculous Vita cable, which you can totally plug in upside down and not realize it. So there you go. It just feels a lot better.
Pro tip. So our next question comes from David Murray. He's asking about the differences between LCD and OLED. I don't remember which one went with which.
Well, Maxwell McGee, let me educate you.
Which one?
The current Vita uses OLED, and the new Vita uses LCD. A lot was made about that by hardwareophiles. When the new Vita was revealed, everybody was saying, but the LCD, it's not going to be as bright. When you pick it up and play it on its own, you don't notice a difference. It still looks nice, sharp, and clear, and vibrant. The colors are a little bit different. Like when I actually compared my current system with the model I got to play at TGS, like I went into the options screen, which on the Vita is just a bright green background, and it was just a little bit brighter on my Vita and a little bit slightly more washed out, a little bit more yellowish on the new Vita, and honestly, that's really the only place I could tell the difference. So it's a very, 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 very minor downgrade, I would say, but when you compare the two systems overall, I would say that the ergonomics of the new Vita are good enough that that's probably the one that I would want if I had a choice between the two.
Our next question comes from Mike Carter, who wants to know, will the Vita TV unit support HDMI?
Yeah, it will.
You want to go down the whole list with us here? Let's
HDMI.
count them down.
All right, what does it support? It's got an HDMI plug on it.
1.
There you go. It's got an Ethernet jack on it.
2.
You don't have to sell for Wi-Fi. You can plug it in and get power.
3.
So that it works. Plug in a Vita card.
4.
Plug in a memory card.
5. Boom, mind blown. So Sean Andrew Curry wants to know, will the PS Vita TV use the same sort of interface as the PS4? Or is it going to be the PS Vita interface with all the little bubbles everywhere?
So here's the one letdown about the PS Vita TV. I love the concept of it, but it does use the Vita interface on your television, and it just looks weird as hell. Like navigating all those giant bubbles with your controller and like having to peel away at the sticker by like holding X and doing that whole thing.
You can't, obviously
you're not going to go up to your TV and go like,
walk up to your TV.
Peel it away.
You have to click and hold.
A lot of those gestures just feel really crowbarred into the TV experience. I'm hoping that by the time that this comes out, they'll have announced a new Vita TV interface, or maybe it just like, it works with the PS4 like you asked, but currently, the demo that I saw when I saw this thing at Tokyo Game Show, it does use the Vita interface, and it's a little bit weird, but I mean, it's functional. And the last question comes to us, of course, from XX Naruto Fan 1969 XX, who says, guys, how do you like the Vita overall? To be honest, I'm really particular about my portables. In fact, I have an immaculately maintained list of all-time top 10 portables.
It's very responsible for a Naruto fan.
Number 1, WonderSwan HD.
Okay, so we're starting at number 1. Okay, just keep going.
Number 7, Game Gear 2000.
This is a very odd list.
Number 10, Nokia N-Gage LTE edition?
Was that the start of the list?
Is
or
that even
is that
a thing?
the end of the list?
Shut it down. We're shutting this down. We're not indulging you again, Naruto fan. This is the end of the show. And thus, we conclude another exciting episode of Ask GameSpot. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you want to submit questions to upcoming shows, Maxwell McGee, how would somebody do that?
All they gotta do is follow GameSpot on Facebook and Twitter. We're checking those updates all the time for your guys' questions. You can also leave a comment in the comment section down below.
Yeah, so why not? Make sure to tune into next week's episode, which is going to be about, I don't know, WonderSwan HD?
I don't know if that was a thing.
We're going to do it anyway.